Hey guys, it's cbgray coming to you guys live with another Destiny video. How are you guys doing today? So in today's video, I just want to make a quick little video talking about how to get every single 1-2 punch shotgun in the game, because with these shotguns you can do some crazy things in the game, some pretty game breaking things. I mean, some things like this. Basically, I just want to give you guys all of the ways of getting these shotguns, because I know you're probably curious. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Hopefully this is helpful. If it is, hit the like button, and if you're new, go ahead and subscribe because it supports your friendly neighborhood potato. Love you guys so much. Thank you for all the support. Let's go ahead and get into it. So first off, we're going to start off with the one that's the most fresh in Season of the Dawn, and that's called Perfect Paradox, as a lot of you probably already know. So this one requires Season of Dawn, and so what you're going to do is go to the Tower Obelisk and you're going to pick up the Perfect Paradox bounty, and so then after that it's going to assign you a random task. In my case, I had to do public events, and so when I did a normal or heroic, each one of those counted for 20%, so I just did a bunch of normal public events. After I did 5 of them, I was able to grab my shotgun, and you can keep doing this over and over and over in order to get a 1-2 punch Perfect Paradox. Now moving on to the next one, this is a Shadowkeep shotgun. This is called One Small Step. So as I said, this is going to require Shadowkeep, and what you're going to have to do is grind Nightmare Hunts, but you're going to have to grind the Nightmare Hunt that's called the Rage, where the Nightmare is going to be Gall, and as you're grinding this, eventually the essence of Rage is going to drop, and when it does, you're going to have 2 tasks that you have to do. The first one's pretty simple, just grind super kills. So I recommend either going to public events, rallying to a flag, and killing enemies with your super, or you can go to something like Shirochi or Kali and use raid banners in order to farm your super. After that, the next thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to kill the Fang of Shungath. And you might be like, who is that? And where in the world do I need to go? So this is when you're just going to want to follow along with me on the screen, fast travel to the sanctuary, and just follow my path. So after you kill them, you're going to return back to the sanctuary, you're going to go to the lectern, you're going to pick up your gun, hopefully it drops 1-2 punch, and then you're going to repeat the process until you get it. And this one's cool because this is also kinetic. So Perfect Paradox and One Small Step are both kinetic shotguns, which is pretty dope. So now let's get into the third one. So this is going to be called the Emperor's Courtesy. I love this one. I use it a lot when I'm doing my Whisper help streams. And so this one requires Season of Opulence, which basically you can get from just having Forsaken. So what you have to do is load into Crown of Sorrows, and you're going to have to complete the encounter after the first encounter. That's the jumping puzzle. And so after you finish the jumping puzzle, just pray to RNG, and hopefully you get it. If you don't, you can repeat on 2 other characters, and then if you don't get it on all 3 characters, repeat that step after the reset. And note, it has to be the curated role, and it only drops from the jumping puzzle, so make sure you're not trying to farm it in other locations or in other encounters. Next, we have one that's not a raid shotgun. I love how a lot of these shotguns are coming from completely different places within the game, so I do respect this a lot. The next one's called The Last Man Standing. So this is going to require Season of the Drifter, which you can also have from Forsaken. And to get this, I recommend you go into Tier 2 when the Knight in Reckoning is the, when the boss in Reckoning is the Knight. You can also do Tier 3, but Tier 2 has the same drop rate and it's easier, so I would recommend going into Tier 2 and farming the Knights. Make sure that you realize that if you're grinding Gambit Prime, that drops the curated roll of Last Man Standing, and that doesn't drop the 1-2 punch roll. So you're going to want to go into Tier 2 Reckoning and farm the Knights. That's my biggest recommendation if you're trying to get a Last Man Standing with 1-2 punch. Next, speaking of Gambit oriented type things, we're going to talk about the Python. This is one of the shotguns with 1-2 punch that's free to play, which is really cool. So this is the ritual weapon that came out in Season of Dawn. And so what you're going to need to do is go to the Drifter and pick up the the Get Closer ritual bounty from Drifter. And so there's going to be 3 tasks you need to complete. They're not too hard. The first one's 500 final blows with a shotgun and Gambit. The second one's 150 close range kills with a shotgun and Gambit. And the third one's Infamy rank heroic and Gambit, and that's only 2,500 points. So this is something that you can honestly farm out in a long day's work or in a few days. I was able to get this done in a few days very, very casually, and it was a lot of fun. So the Python's also a great one, and it doesn't require you to spend any extra money, which is always great. Speaking of free to play shotguns, another one is HAWTHORNE'S Field Forged Shotgun, which was one that was really popular back at the beginning of Destiny 2 and Vanilla, and it's come back in the game as well as some other weapons with new rolls and random rolls, which is dope. So this one is a world drop, so it can drop from random legendary engrams when you're playing the game. The best method that I like to do is farming the Cryptarch's engram. Now I've heard some people say that the Gunsmith and HAWTHORNE'S engrams can also drop them, but I've only been getting them from the Cryptarch, so that's been the main thing I've been farming. But you can try any of those options, or you can just grind the game and hope that one drops that way. I was able to get pretty lucky and get a 1-2 punch shotgun to drop on my first time grinding the Cryptarch engram, so that was pretty cool. And then lastly, one more shotgun that drops from a raid is the Prophet of Doom, and you need Shadowkeep for this one, and this drops in the Garden of Salvation raid. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to complete the second encounter of the Garden of Salvation. So make sure you're not make sure you're not trying to grind this in other encounters within Garden of Salvation. Make sure that you are grinding the second encounter. Do it on all 3 characters. If you don't get it, wait till the reset and then repeat the steps. So this is going to be how you can get all 7 of the 1-2 punch shotguns in the game. They're all really, really amazing weapons, and I really suggest that you try to farm one of these out just so that you can take part in some of the crazy, crazy stuff that you're able to do with these weapons, especially when Worm God is broken or when Liar's Handshake is broken. I mean, there's been a ton of exotics that have caused 1-2 punch to be amazing. Also, when you could shoulder charge and have Syntheseps and 1-2 punch all in one go, that was also crazy. It just seems that 1-2 punch shotguns are always at the forefront when exotics are broken. So make sure to get one of these and you'll be able to take part in the fun. Hope this was helpful, guys. I love you guys so much. And with that, I'm going to talk to you guys on the next Destiny video. Thanks. I love you guys.
My vision's equipped, they shots to the lip. Take out the coin, then I flip. Pull out the thorn, then it's ripped. Dragon tattooed on my hip. Invading like my name is Zim. Dunking these moves like a rim. Yes, I am harder than Shin. Making you pay for your sins. The drift of the 9. Yeah, I'm rolling with them.
No, I'm not fine. I feel incredible. No, I'm not regular. Stand on a pedestal. Joker's wild when he's off of his medicine. Listen for my squad, I go hard like an animal, buy guns. Got your head on the reticle, no trust. You need to go level up,